actual workout for you. This workout I call the Chi HIIT-Fit workout. So I'm not necessarily claiming that this is a quote yoga practice per se. It's much more of a high intensity interval training workout. It does, however, train certain movements that you need for your yoga postures. I've taught yoga for many years. I very frequently encounter people who simply don't have the strength to get into certain poses, particularly that chaturanga, that four-limbed staff that's in the Surya Namaskar, as well as yoga itself requires a certain level of fitness. People often get into yoga because they want to be fit, and then they find that they're not fit enough to do yoga. So this workout that I'm going to share with you is something that you can do on days where you don't have enough time for, say, a full yoga practice and a full workout. You could do this. I'm going to give you 3 segments and a cool down, or 3 intervals. The intervals can be done in sets. So you could do each interval for 1, 2, 3, or 4 sets, however hard you want to work out, however much time, or strength, and energy that you have. In this video, I think I'm going to show 2 sets each, and then if you wanted to have 4 sets each interval, then you just play the video twice. And I will do a brief kind of demo before we get started, because each of the sets are going to require, or each of the intervals are going to require a little bit of instruction. So let's get started, and I hope you like it. So the first interval that we're going to do is going to require, you're going to need some kind of stretchy band. And this is just a resistance tube. I'm going to link resistance tubing below, because this I'm going to use for a couple of purposes. The first purpose I'm going to use it for is to jump rope. So if you have a jump rope, you can use that. So, etc. And for this interval, I am wearing shoes because I'm on a hard surface. If you're at home in the house on the carpeting or out on the grass, you won't need shoes for this. I have sensitive feet, so I have to wear shoes for this interval only. Okay? The second thing we're going to use this for is the second exercise in this interval. And this is works your shoulders as well as the full body. So what we're going to do is we're going to squat down, we're going to take our stretchy band up and over, and then all the way over. And so this is giving me a nice stretch for my pecs, and it's working my shoulder joints. So if my band didn't stretch, then I would have to just have my hands wider. You just want to hold on to whatever degree you can get it all the way over your head. The other thing about this set is on my body, sometimes after I go all the way around a few times, my body's telling me that's enough. And so then I'm just taking the squat and I'm just going straight up overhead. So just to clarify, you can do it however you want. And then the third exercise in this interval, also we're utilizing the stretchy band, and we're going to do this beautiful rotation. And as you notice, I'm keeping the band, I'm stretching the ends of the band apart the whole time. And then I'm returning at the waist. And I'm going to talk you through all this when we get to the exercise section of this video, but that's the first interval. The other thing I want to mention about this workout is that even though it is interval training, we're using a yoga pose in each interval, but the yoga pose is the resting point of the interval. So that's how you're still working your yoga even as you're working your strength as you exercise. So the second interval goes as follows. So we're gonna do this knee rotation like so. But I really want you to nail it on this one. Feeling the weight spreading in the feet, really being honest about how you're working your thighs so you can work that quite powerfully. And then we'll come into Uttanasana, the forward bend. And then we're going to step back into Virabhadrasana number 1. But in this workout sequence, we're going to use this posture as a drill. We're going to go back and forth several times. Now, we're just going to keep rolling like this. And as you do that, it's going to require a lot of work in the core of your body. You'll feel your core cannot escape from that movement if you do it properly. If your feet are placed well, there's a lot of attention to the back foot and the front foot, and I just find it activates my core really well. I've never seen this done in a yoga class. As far as I know, I made it up, and I'm not saying that that's any great thing, but it works for me. Okay? After we do the drill several times, and be aware that your Virabhadrasana may not be perfect, we're going to do the third movement, which requires a lot of explanation. So I'm going to step to the front of my mat, I'm going to bend down, and I'm going to place my hands right kind of to the sides of my sacrum. For me, I've got a very bony sacrum, and so it's very sensitive. I have extra padding here. If you do this on the living room floor, if you have carpeting, it's probably the best. We're going to roll back, and we're going to roll forward to a squat. So this will be your first challenge, is can you come in right into a squat? Some people can't. So if you can't get to the squat, then that's your work. Is you work on, because that's requiring a lot of these deep abdominal muscles, this deep core work. The rollback is just kind of into a half shoulder stand. Okay, however far is comfortable for you. As you see, I've got an extra towel here for my spine. If I was on the carpeting, I wouldn't need that. So we'll roll back, and we're going to roll into the squat. So say that you can actually do the squat, and you can roll into the squat no problem. Then we're going to take it into a jump. Okay? So if you do it all together, it looks like this. Okay? And if you do that a bunch of times, it really works the core of your body, and it really warms you up. Okay? And so this third drill is going to train chaturanga, and then will be some leg strengthening movements that are from martial arts. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back and hit a nice plank. You know, don't schlunk, don't stick your butt up. It's just a very even, firm plank. And then we're going to lower down. The secret is keep your elbows into the body. That's what trains the chaturanga. And then we're going to press right up. We're going to jump forward, and we're going to jump. So if I did it all together, it looks like this. It's actually called a competition burpee in interval training, but we're doing it with our yoga posture in mind. So keep your elbows in, and that'll keep the work in the deltoids where you need it. Okay? Yeah, the jump up is it adds the extra spice there at the end. Okay, then we're going to have our feet wide, and we're going to lift a toe of one leg. Crossing the arms, bending the back knee. So you're going to have roughly 80 to 90% on the back leg, and the front leg is relatively empty. Crossing the arms, and we scoop. So it's a lot of work for the back leg. So I want you to feel the energy spreading in the foot, or the back foot, as you scoop up and down. I think I did 8 or 9 reps in the workout sequence that's coming. And then the other side. Okay? Then we're just going to come to our wide forward bend. This is the resting part of the interval, which you will need by the time we get there. We're going to turn the feet out, and then we're going to do this skanda movement, where you saw, if you watched my video on the earth element, I did this, and perhaps in the water element video as well. Okay? And then we'll come to the forward bend, and then we'll bring it up. Okay, so this video is getting way too long, so I've decided to put the entire practice sequence on part 2. So this will be part 1 that you've just watched, and part 2 will have the entire practice sequence that you can play twice if you want 4 sets of each interval. And I really hope you like this. Please comment or contact me with any questions. Thank you so much. Namaste.